Periodically, my channel will go through a surge in views as well. I do my best.
Hello, Lamb-like here. So welcome to my YouTube channel if you're new, or if you're an old subscriber, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for 4,000 subscribers. My goal is 20,000 by 2021. I don't know if that's a crazy goal, but we'll see. Give this video a thumbs up if you like these videos, and also subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos. And also, thank you to my Patreon supporters so much. This video is for you, so I hope you like it. And if you aren't following me on Instagram, I'll put the Instagram link down below. And I ask questions sometimes there, and so one of the questions I asked was if you guys had any suggestions for a video, and someone suggested that I make a video where I describe my first initial cultural shocks about Germany, and then describe if I've gotten used to them, or if they're still, if I can appreciate them now, the things that were confusing to me in the beginning. So yeah, because I lived in Germany first. I was just a tourist at first. I was studying abroad in England, and I took a trip to Berlin for 1 week and then Frankfurt for a few days. And then a year later I came back for 1 semester abroad in Hamburg. And then another year later I came back and did a 1-year master's program and a 1-year German learning at the university. So I have a lot of experience as different parts of life. Well, I guess I was a student and a tourist, so maybe I'm still missing the working world part of Germany, but yeah, I did some work at the university, so I don't know, maybe I can get to that in a different video. But so here's the culture shocks that I experienced. And so as a backdrop, when I first got to Germany, I had already been living in England for about 4 months. Yeah, and I'm sorry I'm not using my microphone for this video, so I'm sorry if the sound isn't perfect. I just want to upload this video and not do too much editing. Okay, so when I first got to Berlin, after living in England, so in England I was already used to some of the European shocks, which was, whoa, you have to be really fast when you're bagging your groceries and you have to do it yourself. In America, I always felt uncomfortable when the cashier was bagging my groceries, but I didn't know there was another choice. I thought they wanted to do it like that. Because every time I tried helping, the cashier was like, oh no, you're doing it wrong, let me do it. And so yeah, so I got used to that in England. So I wasn't shocked by that when I got to Berlin. And then the whole Sunday thing was the same also
bag your
when I was living
you suck.
near London, England.
You suck
So I
at
was
doing
kinda
it,
used to
let
that,
me do
but
it.
not everything.
Nice.
In England, of course, we were using pounds, and then I wasn't used to the euro. So then my first trip to Berlin, the reason I went to Berlin was because so many people in my semester abroad in England were telling me, you have to go to Berlin, you just have to go. And I knew I had a previous interest in Germany, and I don't know if this is shocking to you guys, because on one of my videos that I made recently about what my friends think of when they think of Germany, and everyone in the comments were saying how annoyed they are that the Americans only know about World War II, and they were saying they were kind of annoyed that the Americans don't know something else other than that, and the other typical things like Germans love beer, stereotype, and Oktoberfest, and Bayern, or Bavaria. So yeah, but I mean, if it weren't for the World War II thing, I don't think I would have found an interest in Germany, if I'm being honest, because back home, when I was in high school, I was always turning on the History Channel, and there was always these documentaries about World War II. Always. And so I was watching these all the time when I came home from school. I was really interested. There's something about it, I just wanted to learn everything about it. Everything I could, I wanted to learn it. And then also, before high school, when I was living 1 year in Oregon, I took this sort of independent class outside of school, and it was a World War II class, so I really got to go deep diving into the topic of World War II, so I found a really big interest in it. So that's the reason I went to Germany originally. I don't know, comment down below if you already knew that about me. I think when I asked on Instagram, majority of you said, oh, you were really shocked by my answer. That was how I originally got interested in Germany, was World War II. Yeah. And I think maybe a lot of people are like that, because when I went to Berlin, I wanted to go on tours, World War II tours, and I found a lot of offers. Yeah, so it was a great time for my history-loving part of my brain. First, when I first got to Germany, the first shock would be when I got to the hostel. Because in England, they were pretty good with the credit cards in England. So, and the customer service was amazing in England. They were so friendly. The bus drivers were so friendly in England. So I was, fresh off the plane. Also, if I haven't mentioned this, I don't think I have yet, the first thing on my list was one of the stereotypes or misconceptions. So another American who I knew who was studying with me in England, who recommended me to visit Berlin, I was kind of worried, like, oh, do I need to, like, learn German? Like, I didn't know. I never traveled to a non-English speaking country besides France when I was in high school, but I was with a bunch of French-speaking teachers, so that's different. So he's like, no, Germans all speak English. You don't have to learn German. And I was like, what? I was really surprised when he told me that, like, okay. And I was young. I was 21 or 22 at the time. So I just kind of took his advice, and I knew I could have Googled and found out some things about Germany.
It's like, yeah, you don't really need to speak German to be in Germany. You can't even live in Germany without speaking the fucking language. You can get around with English quite good, but yeah. Just don't, please.
Germany before going, but I really wanted it to be a surprise. So I get to Berlin, and so I'm sort of expecting Germans to be able to speak some basic English with me, and yep, I found out very soon that wasn't the case, and I don't know what that guy was talking about. I think what he was saying was, if you're in an emergency, you'll find someone around you who could help you. I think that's what he meant, because that's true. Like, so many Germans can speak basic English, but you'll find instances where that's not the case, of course. It's a foreign country, and I think as an American who, we don't have besides Mexico, we don't have close by non-English speaking countries in America. So growing up, it was kind of a shock for me to learn about other countries, and like, oh my gosh, there's these other languages. I was so interested, and
oh my god, there's other languages beside English.
So I ordered a sandwich at the airport, and I was asking the girl some questions, and she couldn't speak English with me, and I was like, wow, okay, that guy was so wrong. And then I go outside to try to find the train, because I knew I needed to get to Alexanderplatz, because I think that was the first thing on my list I wanted to see before I go to the hostel. Or maybe the hostel was right by there, that's probably why I was going there. The signs for me, and this was in 2015, so maybe things have changed, but I could not find any English signs to tell me where the train was, and I didn't know what S-Bahn meant. To me, it was just gibberish, so looking back, I probably should have looked up some things to prepare me in Germany, because now I speak B1, B1 level German, so now it's like, of course, no problem. But back then, I was very confused. I had no idea where I was going. So then I saw where some buses were, and I think this was at the airport, and I asked the bus drivers, like, and hoping he would speak English, and I said, "Hey, is your bus going to Alexanderplatz?" And he just started cussing and saying bad words in German, which
that's the one
I don't know what he was saying. He was very angry, so I hopped off the bus. And I was like, okay,
oh my god, that
this
thing is really
is not a good beginning to my time in Germany. Getting yelled at to get off or to get away. He was like, he must have been having a really bad day. Probably the tourists annoy him. I could be understanding. But the bus drivers in England are just crazy nice. Like, so they're always saying cheers, and like everyone says cheers, and when you get onto a bus in England. So the second one would be when I got to the hostel, they said, we don't accept credit card, only cash. And this was my first experience with Germany and not accepting credit card. Cash only. It's like cash only kind of country. But I hear things are starting slowly to get towards where the world's at right now, or I don't know. England and America, I felt, were just so much more into the credit cards compared to Germany. Well, I went to a nearby grocery store. I don't know if this was in the same day. I think I went to the ATM and then I paid for that, and then this might have been the same day, because I remember I was at the grocery store. I didn't have cash with me, and they didn't accept my credit card. And I was talking to my boyfriend recently, and he was telling me at that time Penny didn't accept Visa credit cards, so I think that's what was happening, which was of course a shock for me that, oh my gosh, you're at a grocery store and they don't accept credit cards. And I didn't know about the discount grocery stores compared to the normal grocery stores. So yeah. Also those little gates that let you in and close, that was also new for me. Random little difference. I was like, okay, you have to, they kind of pressure you a little bit to buy something, because you feel kind of awkward when you're in there and then you get locked with those closing electric doors. So then you have to, I felt that way, like I had to buy something just to get out, otherwise it was like awkward sneaking out of the grocery store. Oh yeah, I had a headache on a Sunday. At this point, I was staying at a couch surfer's place, which by the way, couch surfing's amazing. I'm so glad I did it. That year was awesome. So I was staying with a local guy who was from Berlin. He was showing me around Berlin. And one of the Sundays that I was staying with him, I had a headache, and he told me the pharmacies are closed on Sundays, and I was really, like, at this point I'm like, you know, I'm not surprised. I felt like Germany in the beginning was just kind of a whole lot of inconveniences, but mostly just with the cash thing. And like America, you can buy everything in one grocery store. You can buy your medicine in one grocery store, like you don't need to go to ask a pharmacist for your medicine. But looking back now, like, it's something I just got used to, and it's not that big of a deal after living in Germany for so long. And at the time, I don't know why he didn't tell me that we could have found one open pharmacy if we wanted, but I think we just decided for me to drink water or something. And I do appreciate the Sundays are for chilling thing. It's very nice that the whole country can chill out for one day out of the week. I think it's a really healthy cultural thing. And then with that couch surfer, we started talking about college. At the time, I was really proud. I was going to one of the most affordable public schools in California, so he was asking me how much do I pay per semester, and I was like, oh yeah, I only pay $3,000 something per semester. And I was expecting him to have sort of a, like, oh wow, that's not that bad type of reaction. And that's the moment I learned, when he told me that in Germany, the public schools at least, I know there's some private schools that charge tuition, but the public schools don't charge tuition. You just pay the semester ticket, which is your free traveling around the whole city thing, which is awesome. Public transportation's awesome in Germany. Also a culture shock for me, loved it, so convenient. So that was convenient part of Germany. So, and that was the moment where the light bulb went in my head where, whoa, I think I want to come here for graduate school. And I don't know if that sounds bad because I was like, ooh, free, I don't have to pay for it. But it wasn't just that. It was like I was really loving Germany. These tours I was going on were so interesting. I was meeting people in the tours. I was having a great time in Berlin. The music was amazing, and this couch surfer was playing Paul Kalkbrenner, which I'll put the song down below in the description box. And I think if you're German, most Germans I feel like know this song. I even hear it when I'm in random places in Germany, and it just brings back all these emotions. Like the song that really stands out in my head was Sand and Stone. Like it just evokes this emotion from you. Yeah, so the German techno electronic music is just amazing, and it's nothing like I've ever heard from where I'm from in California. Like we just have kind of club music and remixes of popular songs, but I don't hear this sort of handmade electronic music. It's amazing in Germany. So yeah, that was a really good cultural difference. And so yeah, that's why I decided to, for the next semester, I found out from my university, the university in Berlin, I had to speak B2 level German, which was not going to happen, of course, not in that short amount of time. So I decided to choose Hamburg, which was the closest university that I could to Berlin. And it's funny looking back now because I chose Hamburg because it was the closest city I could get to Berlin for my semester abroad. And I had no idea, this is embarrassing, I had no idea what Hamburg was. I didn't know this was a giant city. I had no idea it was one of the largest cities in Germany. All I knew was I wanted to be near Berlin. And that's really embarrassing looking back because now I've lived in Hamburg for one semester and a little bit more. So now I know it's a very large city, it's an awesome city. Possibly, I don't know, it's totally different than Berlin, so I don't think you can even compare them. They each have their great points to them. So another thing was there's no Uber. That was, I found really annoying in Frankfurt. I was going to the World Club Dome music festival, and I was like living my dream going to these electronic festivals in Germany. And I had to go through a forest and take a taxi, and it would have been so great if I could have just gotten an Uber, but in Germany I think the laws are pretty strict on these. But I found out there's this app in Germany that's similar to Uber. Well, actually I think they changed the name, and I used it in Oldenburg. It's called My Free Now. I don't know, it was sort of similar to, it used to be called something else to do with taxi. I don't know why they changed their name to that. But. Oh yeah, the guy from Berlin, he was using the tool to put his shoes on, which I never seen that before either. I don't know if Americans have this too for their business shoes, because I heard it's a business shoe thing. And then he also made me some typical German meals, like I think we had potatoes and the bratwurst, and he also showed me the currywurst on the street, you know. He showed me falafel at the doner kebab place. Like, I'll always have this memory of walking down the street, and it was really hot, humid summer in Berlin that year in 2015. And we had the doner kebab. We went to the airport that was closed. Maybe you guys know who are from Berlin. So this was like from World War II, and they like closed this airport down so it's not used. I don't know what it's like today because that was in 2015. Maybe they're using it again. I don't know. But yeah, it was really kind of creepy because there was all these people had their picnics out on this deserted airport with all the weeds, and the grass was really long. It was a cool experience. Like, as an introverted person, I of course love the independence and the like how much you don't need to actually talk to people in Germany to go about your way throughout the day. It's very nice for an introvert. Hamburg semester abroad. Here are the cultural differences and if I'm used to them or what my opinion is on them. Right, so orientation week. This was so different to me than England. It was so organized in Germany. The students who were in charge of the orientation week in Hamburg were so great. We had a whole week full of planned activities. This was perfect for me as like an introverted person to like get to know everyone and make friends. It was great, amazing. And yeah, so we did the like, what's it called? The tour, the Stadt tour. And my really extroverted friend at the time, she asked a stranger to take a photo of us. It's really funny at the time. I think I told this story to my old YouTube viewers. And I think this German was just like, okay, this is probably the weirdest thing that German had ever experienced, is what it seemed like. But all these foreigners, just, he's holding the camera, and all the Americans had forgotten. It was actually a mix. Some Americans, some Australians, some, I don't know. Our group was very diverse. But on to the cultural differences. Okay. I mean, the personalities of the Germans is for sure a culture shock. I don't know, for an American. I'm an introvert, so I don't really, I know I say that word a lot. I'm using that word way too much. Because I'm also extroverted too. I felt very comfortable in Germany, so that part wasn't a shock to me, the personality. And I see a lot of other Americans talking about Germans staring. There's something about Germans just staring at you. Honestly, I've never noticed that because I think I'm also staring. Maybe that's why I haven't noticed it. I don't know. I'm always people watching and curious what everyone's doing, what they're wearing, how they're acting. So maybe I'm just like a little bit German in that sense. So the biggest difference for me about studying in Hamburg for my semester abroad would be the style of the classes, style of the homework, and the exam style was so different than in America. I thought I was dying of stress at the end of the semester. I don't know how the Germans do it. My opinion, if I have an opinion on this, it's I don't like it. I didn't like it in Hamburg. I much preferred the American way where we had every few weeks we had a project, or every few weeks we had a test. So at the end of the semester you had all this work, and then at the end you have just the same type of test as you did the whole time. So it wouldn't be worth any more than the other parts of the semester. But in Germany, you have no work and you're expected to just study for everything yourself. So you have to be really good at being motivated and self-discipline. So I understand there how that's probably better to have like self-disciplined students, and you have to actually be interested in what you're studying in Germany, which makes sense. So I can appreciate it now, like I get it, because I guess that's maybe how a job is. A job will give you a project to work on, and it might take you a few months to do the project, so I get it. Did I like it? No. I was really sad because the exams were right around the big soccer or football tournament or competition. The one that, you know, every 4 or 2 years there's a big competition. I forget what it was in 2015, but comment down below if you know what I'm talking about. And I was only able to go to like 2 of the events, like the public viewing thing. So cool, such a cool experience.
She used public viewing.
Everyone watching the giant screen. And
she used the word.
Where I was, so I don't know if that's a common thing with public viewing, but didn't really like that part. But the energy was amazing. Germans can be patriotic when sports are going on, is what I learned. Like, Americans are patriotic all the time. I don't know why they are how they are, but that's how they are in America. In Germany, for some obvious reasons, I think most Germans I talk to, they say it's because of the past, and they have a belief too that why is one country better than another, so why be patriotic? Like, so that's why in Germany with the soccer you can finally wave your flags. And I'm glad I got to watch that one game. I'll never forget this game. I think it was Italy versus Germany, and we were sitting on these tables outside, and the Italians were singing their songs, the Germans were singing their songs. It was so cool. I definitely never experienced this sort of sport love, so that's definitely a cultural difference. Where I'm from, Southern California, we didn't even have a football team or a soccer team until recently. I think the San Diego Chargers now have come to Los Angeles, so now we kind of have a team, but yeah, it's nice to do something like that with your friends if you're interested in it. Oh yeah, in the beginning of the semester, one of our professors didn't show up for 2 weeks because he was on Urlaub, on vacation. That's something I never experienced in California. Like, the professors are very strict. If you don't show up on the first day, usually they drop you from the class, which was also similar to what I experienced from one of the professors in Hamburg. Not that guy, because he didn't even show up for his class for 2 weeks. But I learned in Germany, the professors, it's kind of like their part-time job. In California, it's definitely their main job, I feel like. Paprika flavor. Big difference. When I was craving my barbecue chips, my sweet barbecue chips that seems to be a popular flavor with Americans, I did not really find that in Germany. You find paprika, which is bell pepper, in English, and yeah, I think I grew to love it a little bit, but I don't know, to me it tastes very plain, kind of boring, but Germans love it. So I felt like the diet in Germany was definitely in general healthier. You don't have as many fattening options, so I definitely think lost some weight in Germany, which was good. The dark bread, that was new for me too. I also grew to like that. At first I thought, ew, it tastes so healthy and it's so heavy, and bleh. I did not like it. I always thought good bread meant squishy, really squishy bread.
Squishy bread
but then I
is
learned
garbage
from my
bread.
German friend, like, oh, no, actually you want the bread to be hard because then it fills you up. There's a purpose for it. I just thought it was for taste. I didn't think that there was, I don't know. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm much more full. The next on my list is Oldenburg. Living as a master's/German student in Oldenburg, so that was a different experience for me. The biggest thing I thought of my life in Oldenburg was the mail. This was different because in California they just leave your mail on your doorstep, or it depends where you live. If it's a house, they leave it on your doorstep. If it's an apartment, usually there's like a mail room at your apartment complex, and you can go pick up your mail at the mail room. So it's always close to, and yeah, convenient. America's all about convenient. Americans don't like to go very far to get their stuff. So in Germany though, your mail goes to like a nearby post office place, which if it's nearby to you, it's convenient, but in Oldenburg, the closest post office place was not near to me. So I found that to be pretty annoying. And then once my package was lost, and that was horrible. There was this one company, I forget the name of it, but this company works with England pretty often because I ordered something from England. My package got lost. It was a present for a friend, and I was like, no. I'm so stressed. I don't even want to think about that story. I've never had a lost package in America, so I don't know. I didn't have that great of experience with the mail, and it makes me nervous when I order things in Germany because I don't know where it's going to go to. And sometimes they don't leave a note on your door in Oldenburg, so I don't know. That was annoying. So, but I get it. I appreciate it too. I do. In the beginning I didn't, but now, like, if the package doesn't get lost, it's like, okay, your package is safe. In America, if you don't see your package on your doorstep, you're always kind of worried, did someone steal it? Which is not something you feel in Germany, so that's nice. Spargel soup. Love spargel soup. I never seen white asparagus before in my life until I got to Germany. Though my mom did tell me that we have the white asparagus here, I just never noticed it. I don't know. Yeah, so I love that. Super creamy, delicious. Bremen had a really yummy asparagus soup place that I went to. Partying in Hamburg at Übungefährlich, and then waking up to go to the fish market. It was just for sure a culture shock for me, this partying until the sun comes up, going drunk shopping in the morning. Like, this was all just hilarious for me, super funny. It's things you just don't forget, these sort of memories. And then doona kebab, I finally had my like actual doona kebab, but that was in Hamburg before Oldenburg, so I love it, totally love it. It can't really compare to my Mexican food, but I love it. Oh yeah, so the biggest thing for me in Oldenburg, I feel like, would be the loneliness and the difficulty of meeting Germans. But I think it's because I wasn't in a club or a Verein like Germans have told me, so that's going to be the challenge in the future, is I'm going to have to join some hobbies, some clubs in order to meet Germans, because otherwise there's no way. Like, I met Germans in my class, but I never had like, only one German girl from my master's degree I had like kind of a deep friendship with, but I found it in general quite difficult to get on a deeper level, and I don't know why. I think sometimes I feel like the language barrier, Germans are, they have great English. Even when the Germans say, oh, I have bad English, it's like, what? No, they have great English. So that's something I noticed about Germans, is they're, but I get it, because when I'm speaking German, I feel so insecure, I feel uncomfortable, and I'd much prefer to just speak English. And sometimes it does feel nice when you're speaking with another American. You don't have to feel bad about confusing them about something. So I get it, like, if Germans prefer having German friends, but that's not the case for sure. I met Germans who weren't insecure about speaking with me or something. So, oh my gosh, so during orientation week, we learned about the sauna at the Oldenburg University. And I was like thinking, oh, that's so weird to see your fellow students, your classmates, possibly your professors naked at the sauna, or sauna, as they say in German. And one of the girls, when we were on this tour of the university, she whispered to me that in her bachelor's degree, she had seen one of her professors at the sauna on campus where she was studying. I think it was, I don't remember what city. It was like Augsburg, or I don't know, another city in Germany. And I just, like, I don't think I could ever go to class if that ever happened. Like, Americans are, I know, super weird about nudity. So that's something I haven't gotten used to, is this nudity culture. Maybe one day I'll go to a sauna, but just the idea is just so uncomfortable. I can't even think about doing it. Oh, I'm sure the idea is worse than the reality, but yeah, that's one thing I can't get used to. And the one time I was riding my bike around one of the lakes around Oldenburg, I was just trying to get a tour of the lake, because I had only ever hung out on one side. And I remember there was two guys naked sunbathing on one side, and that was also a big culture shock, because you'll never see that here. Someone naked laying on the beach in California. Yeah. And we don't have lakes in California where I live, not near where I live, so that's also a new thing, and I love it. Like, the nature, Germans love their nature. It's such a green country, which I never knew that before, because before all I was interested in was the World War II. And then I found out, oh, it's like a nature place with amazing food and really sweet, genuine people. Deep friendships happen. They care about the world, at least in the university world I was living in. It was just, yeah, I felt really at home at Germany, but of course my home is America, and this is what I'm used to. Well, the weather of California, so the weather is definitely a culture shock too, but it wasn't too different than England for me. I think I'll sign off here, and I'll talk about anything else in the future videos if I forgot something. Let me know if there's any subjects I talked about that you want me to talk more about down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Your first test awaits you. Just volumen nos indorai!
Enough! You little beasts are getting out of hand.
totally forgot. Cold snap. I mean, I totally forgot that I have that. Noise. Fuck you, game. Why? I should have gone for the tank item. God damn it.
Speak your mind. Never let your guard down. My dear friends, a wondrous honor has
Man, I
been
do need 2 items from him.
to embrace your destiny, as I have.
Sword
Resolve
and the
has
trinket.
shown me the inevitable truth that to save Azeroth.
Five, four, three, two, one.
Interference negated. Connection restored.
You're back. What happened? I learned that it doesn't take much for my friends to believe I betrayed them. Champions, that vision was as much for me as it was for you. N'Zoth wants us to believe that my corruption is inevitable. Doubt me if you must, but know that I will not rest until his...
2, 1.
Your minds smell so delicious. Sanity shatters. Reality and illusion meld into one. Sanity shatters. Are you certain any of this is needed? Sanity shatters. Did you?
First draw of the first boss dropped so many nice things. Second and third boss dropped absolutely nothing.